Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Remember When. My name is Johnny, and I'm here with my homie, my brother, Amir.
What's up, y'all?
And we got special guest star from the hit movie Ghostbusters from 1984. We got our boy, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Hey, yo, let's say what's up. Woo! Yay! Woo!
Stay puffed.
Staying puffed, bro.
Staying puffed.
Man, ever since the accident, I know you've been through a lot, man. So, like, the accident, the divorce, bro, like, what's been going on, man? What's been going on in the Stay Puft life?
Well, you know, I got 30 little marshmallows that, you know, I'm trying to raise right now. And, you know, sometimes life be a little tough with them, you know, because they be kind of melting in the seat. Feel me? Yeah,
I feel you, man. I imagine that they'd be running away and then people be eating them because they like marshmallows. They're probably delicious. I think I ate one a long time ago, but
it was you.
Yeah, don't.
It was you.
No, I'm lying, bro.
But, yeah, that's crazy. That was my third oldest.
Yeah, it tastes delicious.
Shout out the oldest.
Shout out the oldest, bro. That man good. But yo, we appreciate you having here, Stay Puft, man. Yo. We about to delve a lot more about into your life, man. We won't be delving into the dark secrets. I want to hear about your sex life. I want to hear about everything, man. What's the life of a marshmallow?
It's goopy. Let me start off with that.
Goopy. Ooh,
goopy.
Yeah. Let's hear more details.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, let's hear more details.
Oh. I think I gotta go.
Whoa! Can't expose the wifey now.
Yeah.
She a marshmallow too?
Close. She's tofu.
She's tofu?
Yeah, you know,
Nasty
we're both
ass.
like white little spongy substances.
You better divorce that chick, bro.
You ready to talk about my divorce?
It's crazy. He said, "Oh yeah, my wife's tofu, nasty ass."
What's wrong with you, God? You a marshmallow. There are other better women out there, bro. Go get...
Don't listen to him.
Nah, if you don't listen to this, man, he's giving you bad advice. You need to go back, marry yourself like a chocolate bar.
How does it feel that you technically came from two dogs fucking?
You know, it actually feels really good now that you paint the picture for me. I don't really ever think about that, but now that I do, I actually feel really honored.
Let's think about it. What other human has ever came into conception from two dogs fucking? None.
Dog nigga.
You know what? That's a good point. But he ain't here today. We'll get him a guest star next week. Right now, it's all about Stay Puft.
It's all about staying puffed.
That's right. Now, we only got you in here for like, oh shit, we out of time. Okay, yo, we had Stay Puft in here for a while, but it was great. Yo, Stay Puft, we appreciate you. Thank you for talking to us. We a small time studio. You know, we trying to make it out here, but we glad we was able to get someone as famous as you, man.
It was an honor.
Yeah, man. Well, don't stay away from the lighter. Yo, we appreciate you. Stay safe out there, Stay Puft, man. Yo, Jose's back. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Not nearly as scary.
Yeah, we met Stay Puft. You met Stay Puft, bro.
I don't know.
You don't give a fuck about him?
I'm offended that you guys replaced me with him. Joe, you got one celebrity cameo, and this is what happened.
How do we say no though? Because if he's running at me, I'm folding.
You're just like, yes, you're on the pod. You're on the pod.
Oh, it's okay. You got it.
You get absorbed by him. You're like, help.
Yeah, bro, he could have Majin Buu tendencies.
Oh, crazy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so we are talking about Ghostbusters today. None of us were born in the 80s, but, you know, so we're just revisiting it. Did you guys watch it growing up?
Okay, I've watched I saw like a couple of scenes, but there was one particular scene I saw, but I immediately clicked away because I was like, "Oh, this is porn." Y'all know immediately what scene I'm talking about if you've seen the movie, because like I didn't want to risk it. My mom would come in and be like, "What are you watching that, boy?" But my Ghostbusters like history usually just span from like I remember watching Extreme Ghostbusters on YouTube when people would bootleg it and look like crap. But it was mainly like from watching other people melt about like how Ghostbusters changed their lives and how they changed their childhoods. And, you know, it was just like a product of like what everybody else was saying. I didn't really watch movies growing up.
So this is not a revisit for you?
Nah.
Okay.
It was like a first time as an adult fully watching it for the first time.
Okay. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, that's why I kind of stopped myself, was like, we're revisit. I don't know if you revisit kind of thing. But Amir, is this more than, or have you watched it more than one time before?
I'll say it's a partial revisit. I've never fully watched it in one sitting and like the whole movie in its entirety. Honestly, I'm so disrespectful. I remember more the most recent iteration of the Ghostbusters more than I did the original. Of course, I mean, back in the day, if anyone said who you gonna call, someone's saying Ghostbusters. So
And
that
of course,
was
the theme song.
yeah, of course.
Everybody knows the theme song. I ain't
Yeah.
afraid no ghosts.
Hell, even after rewatching, I was humming that shit during my midterm, bro.
It's catchy, ain't it?
Yeah.
And I thank Amir for bringing it up because I lied. We did watch a Ghostbusters movie together. It was like Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was the only one we really
That was
watched.
the 2016 one?
No, that was a remake. That was just called Ghostbusters. That booty ass
Are
remake.
you talking about that all-female one?
Yeah, that was the all female.
Oh, no.
I didn't watch that shit.
No, you didn't watch that one?
I watched the trailer and I was like, "This movie's gonna piss me off. I'm not watching this." Like,
I wasn't crazy about that one, to be honest.
it
I
looked
really wasn't.
horrible.
Reviews probably weren't too
Yeah.
crazy about it either. from
Yeah,
what
we
I
watched. It was the Afterlife one where it was like the passing of the torch, like that, like that.
It's the
that
next
kind of
generation.
Mhm.
pretty much.
Yeah.
It was just pretty much just Ghostbusters 1 all over again. they wrote that movie
With kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like they wrote that movie so hard that I ain't gonna lie. Watching this movie made that movie even worse, in my opinion.
Can you guys believe that this movie is 40 years old?
40.
And this summer, it'll be 40 years old.
Honestly,
40.
I would expect it to honestly be more of a 90s movie. The way it looks, and it doesn't feel choppy and it doesn't feel dated at all, which was surprising because when we rewatched it, only issues I had were the dogs. But otherwise, I have no problems watching that movie.
Yeah, it's like the same thing as like watching like Terminator or even Terminator 2. Like those are timeless.
That's a good example.
You could tell me it's like that came out in the 90s, and I'll be like, yeah, makes sense. Came out in the 90s,
Mhm.
bro. Like it's good. It's timeless.
I agree with that. Yeah, I watched and was like, I don't feel like it's aged a single day, even though 100% has, like you said, with the dogs. You could tell with like, some of the visuals, or even some of the acting, but we'll dive into that. So spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen Ghostbusters, we're going to be talking about it because we love to bust some ghosts.
We do, and buses make us feel real good, man.
Oh yeah, that's in the song, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Busting makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I would have cried if the dude in the background was like, "Get me a sample." He oozed all over me. Get me a sample.
He
That's
slimed
crazy.
me. He slimed me.
I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to do it in the grandma got ran over by a reindeer slime voice. Slimy.
He slimed me.
Fuck that movie.
Don't you dare disrespect the classic.
So how did you guys feel about the opening of this movie where they're doing that social experiment on the two people and how the one guy kept getting it wrong, kept getting buzzed? that actually cracked me up. Like I knew it was coming and I was still laughing about it.
At first I was confused. I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be this kind of like it was building up to something, but it was like, okay, yeah, that's funny. Like the payoff was funny. Like it was very dry and very like it was like the anticipation was coming. And then finally she's like, yeah, I like it. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, it was hilarious. So basically, it was like something about telepathy, if I remember correctly. And basically, Bill Murray, he's holding up a card, and you only see the back side of the card, and you have to guess like what shape is on the front side of the card. And the guy, he kept getting them all wrong, and so did the girl. But he was just like, "Yo, you're a telepath. That's wild." Kept giving her freebies. And the guy kept on getting shocked. And then finally gets another one wrong. He's like, "What kind of game is this?"
I'm surprised the dude
got so pissed.
Like he would always flip the card over for the dude, but for the female, he'd be like, "You got it right, yes." But he would never show the card. I'm surprised the dude and be like, "Yo, give me that card,
Give me the card.
Give me that card. That's bacon. What are you talking about?"
The guy was funny. He's like, "It's not worth the $5."
Were you guys ever
Oh, no.
offered the opportunity? Like, I know at Rutgers, if you're in a psych course, you're able to be a participant in studies like that.
In case studies,
Yeah,
right?
so people that are trying to get their own rapport and build some type of documentation, they'll conduct their own experiments. Of course, you can't shock people because you probably need to waiver
man.
rights and a whole bunch of other shit. But I thought it was cool and I thought it was funny because I easily see that trope, and I feel like older movies always do that. Like we all know gym teachers might be a little weird when it comes to the participants, the same way these scientists are a bit weird. I was just surprised that Bill Murray was just landing these things because that hairline is crazy, bro. That is crazy.
There's a point where you gotta let it go, man. And you know what's crazy? That we looked it up. Cause like, oh, he's like, you gotta be like late 30s. No, he's gotta be 40s. This man's 33.
Really? Is he
33, and that shit looked like some hot rod flames on the side of his head.
I believe so. I did the math, but I might be wrong. But I know he was at least early 30s in that movie, which is like, what the fuck? Damn. People in the old days, they look old.
And not in a good way.
Yeah, and not in a good way. Whew. Just look at your grandmother's high school photos. Like, probably don't look that
cringe. Terrible. But yeah, so our main group, they were all professors. I think it was at Columbia University.
MIT, my thing. Oh no, I remember they mentioned MIT, but it might have been Columbia.
Okay, yeah, they were all smart professors, right? You know, their research has gone towards basically nothing in the eyes of their funding. So they get canned. They got to go do their things, or go be big on their own. So they end up. Which guy's house did they end up selling? Like they ended up getting
Ray's house. It was
Ray's house.
Yeah, it was like, you sell my parents' house, house is third mortgage. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He said everybody has 3 mortgages nowadays. Calm down.
Hey, I was like, huh?
That's how you know shit was sweet back in the day. Shit was super sweet.
Sure, I wish I lived that time. Be a millionaire now.
Right. And I loved it when they get to their headquarters, their home station. So they end up talking about, the lady was like, so do you guys like it here? Said, no, the cable electricity won't handle everything we're doing. I don't know about that. And then one of them just slides down the fire pole and it's like, we love it here.
This is great. This is great. Guys, we should stay tonight. Tonight. Bro, what killed me is when they were showing the room, there was a barrel, like how homeless people just create fires out in the streets, just in the background. I was like, oh, hell no, bro. No.
I immediately think like a video game barrel. It's like, oh, you shoot the barrel, it's gonna explode, kill all the enemies. Like some Half-Life shit.
No, it looked like some dudes was camping in there.
They ended up cleaning the place up, though. It actually looks really cool inside.
Firehouse looking pretty nice, bro. It's like an actual fire station.
Yeah, it's authentic in there. It's legit. And they end up they end up putting the name of Ghostbusters up after they do their first case, if I remember correctly, right? So they end up taking the case from the one girl. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with their names. I don't know why I'm blanking on all.
Oh, Dana?
Yeah. They end up taking her case with. She opens up her fridge. There's demon dogs inside there.
Yeah, just a casual portal to hell in your refrigerator.
Yeah. She's like, hell no. Closes it. Had saw an ad for the Ghostbusters earlier and ends up becoming their first client. But she doesn't become their first successful case, though. First successful case comes with Slimer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And technically, it's not the first ghost that you see, because they got the librarian ghost, but it's mainly like a reconnaissance where they just go in. Can we interact with the ghost? Maybe, and then screams at them. They're like, "No, fuck that!" They don't have the proton packs at that point. But once they finally get it, that's when they finally get Slimer. And Slimer, it's crazy how he was only in that one scene, in the hotel, but he became such an icon.
Yeah, it's probably other than the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it's probably the most recognized ghost from Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. And it was just funny how he was just. Me and Amir were dying. This is the way he was flying around when they were trying to zap him. He'd be like. It just flies away. Meanwhile, they're doing more damage around this whole hotel area. Way more damage than they're probably getting paid for.
Yeah, they in the wrong business. They should have been with Lockheed Martin trying to get that military contract, bro, because them beams was just cutting through walls, just lighting shit on fire.
Imagine if you hired an exterminator to get rid of some wasps or something. He comes in with an M20 machine gun and just starts blasting at your walls. He's like, well... I did what I could. Now it's gonna be 5K.
Did you finish it? Anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, that scene was great because it's this lady. She's waiting for the venue to open up. She's like, "What is taking so long?" He's like, "Oh, you said we're just still setting up." Meanwhile, 5 tables crashed at that same exact time. He said, "I'm gonna check on what's going on." The whole room is decimated. But yeah, they pop out. They're like, "Ghost captured. Crisis averted." And here's my bill.
Bruh, what stood out to me initially was how much Bill Murray was so good at keeping that straight face. The whole time, and how much he just didn't give a fuck. There could be the librarian ghost. The whole time he was like, bro, I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to get laid. Fuck you talking about this ghost. And he finally sees it. He just looks back at him. So what are we doing?
What are we doing about this?
No. Hey, bro, I see a whole ghost. That's wild. No, just... That's cool. What are we doing?
That's why I love this movie. The whole movie is like, if you ever wanted like a perfect example of like dry humor, because at first I didn't really get it, what that term really meant. But this movie, if you ever want to know what that term means, watch this movie, because there's never like, if you want a horrible example of humor, watch this movie and then watch the 2016 one, because even from the trailers, I looked at it, I'm like, dog, this completely missed the point of what the original was. It's a bunch of scientists, and like, imagine a bunch of exterminators that literally just wanted to get paid. They're just sleazy. They don't really like care about. They didn't give a fuck about saving the world. They're just trying to get paid, and they're like very dry with it. Like their delivery's dry. There's not like a ha ha ha. This is definitely supposed to be funny. It's mainly like Bill Murray's a smartass, and it's just all of his smartass remarks which were just hilarious. And it wasn't even anything that big or grand. It was just like a simple remark. That's all you need.
Oh my gosh. A prime example of this. I know this kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but my favorite scene of this movie. So he's in Dana's apartment. Dana's like possessed at this point, right? But she like spoke in her voice, and then she was like, I am so. And he said, oh, lovely singing voice. That scene gets me every single time. Just his delivery is so straight-faced. It kills me every single time. That's a prime example of what you say is like, it was literally just a one-liner, but the way they execute their dry humor, it's just flawless.
Yeah,
it really is.
A bad movie would have been like some slapstick bullshit, but this is just like, it feels grown. I don't feel like it doesn't feel like a baby movie. It's like you got to pay attention to the dialogue, or else you're not going to get like a lot of it.
Absolutely.
What was the smart guy called with the glasses?
Egon?
Yeah, he always wanted to say, bro, what killed me was when they were searching for the ghost and there was a guy in the hallway and he was just minding his business. He just, with the tracker, he looks at the guy, fully pats this man down and just looks at him. If he was a ghost or he got a reading, he would have blasted that boy. Mm-hmm. It just killed me, bro.
They almost blasted that poor maid.
Oh, yeah.
That poor woman. Like, imagine, I don't know what a proton pack would do to a person's, like, molecular, like, stream, but that looked like it could destroy, it was destroying walls, bro. That probably would have annihilated that woman. Like, God damn.
Considering they said, hey, don't cross beams. It could be a nuclear reaction. I'm like, huh? Huh? Like, what do you mean by that? And how inaccurate that was? How do you control it? How do you control? I'd be so scared to accidentally cross beams.
But yeah, so the Ghostbusters, they gain popularity. They're all over the news. They're everywhere. And you get a nice little quick montage of just newspaper articles, headlines of them seeing their success. Mm-hmm. And that is my one complaint with this movie. And it's not knocking the movie itself, is that me as a viewer, it felt short. Like, I wanted to see more of them. And like, that's a good problem to have, right? Because like, that's what every movie strives to be, is that when you leave it, you want to say, like, I could have watched another half hour of that. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it suffers in the opposite problem of most movies do nowadays, is that a lot of movies, for example, the most recent Batman movie, there were so many scenes that were so drawn out. And I'm like, this sucks. I would have loved it if they actually drawn out some of their scenes. Like, I would have loved if they drawn out, like, give me like a couple action clips in that montage other than the newspaper headlines, you know? I think that would have been fantastic. That's my one complaint, is that I wanted to see more. Yeah, like, if I'm being honest, yeah.
I would rather have a shorter movie that leaves me wanting more than a long movie that's just like, okay, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, can you trim off the fat, please?
Like, yeah. Like a good recent example, Martin Scorsese, like, you know, we made like Goodfellas, Casino, all them fantastic movies, The Departed. He recently came out with a movie called Killers of the Flower Moon, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a 3-hour movie? This is about to be like an epic. There were so many scenes. I'm like, y'all, you could have cut that out easy, bro. This could have been like 2 hours max. Come on, man. Like, you stroking it. Like, you just mad stroking it like your ego at this point, bro. This did not need to be 3 hours. Come on, man. Like, this movie, I would have loved like more scenes with Winston. Like, Winston interacting with like the whole crew. I forgot how like late Winston really comes into the picture.
Yeah, I think that's literally the halfway mark of the movie. Yeah.
It literally came in like halfway.
If not a quarter. I think the biggest problem is, like what you were trying to say, is nowadays movies take too long to set up. And this movie is set up a nice way, but I like to see early adventures, like go back to the librarian, capture her. more than just the slime dude. Just show a bit of those adventures. That way I could see you become pros and why you became famous. Instead, it was more, oh, we fixed this restaurant and low-key it was a disaster, but somehow, boom, we exploded and now everybody wants us. I was kind of confused. And even in the end, I guess because I'm used to older movies, if we had reached the end and I just got up and left and he was like, bro, there could be more. I was like, no, it's done. And he dead ass was so stuck. He was like, it's done? Like there should have been more.
Oh, yeah. When the movie ended, I felt like it was a good ending. But again, I was like, I wanted more. I was like, I honestly would have been okay if they played out and added a little bit more fluff in the ending. Like drawing it out a little bit longer.
I see that joke you made.
Some fluff.
That's a nice bar.
That's crazy. It's almost a 2-hour movie, though.
Yeah, I was like around hour 40 or something like that.
Yeah. So it's not like it was a short movie, but I don't know. I think if it hit that 2-hour mark, I would have been happy.
And honestly, I draw a comparison to like Terminator. Like Terminator felt like it needed whatever. I wanted more, especially of like the future events of like, oh, how did Skynet take over? And that's usually what Terminator 2 expands upon. But even the first movie, I was like, damn, I love these concepts. I love what's going on. They didn't explain like maybe even half of what's going on, but I still love the characters. I still love what's happening around it. And that's all you need. Like they never really truly explain like how the ghosts are made, where they come from. Like there was that one scene in the with the mayor where like the priest comes in. He's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna ignore all the religious implications here, but blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, I like how they just like they put that in, just like you say, like we're not gonna explain any of this shit. Like, don't worry about it. All we need to know about is Gozer and Zool and all the dogs and shit. That's all we need to know.
Bro, that priest was useless as fuck. Like, imagine I hire you. I'm like, Jose, give me your honest opinions about something. And you said, honestly, I think it's from God, bro. And he just sat down. Nigga, get out my office. What are you talking about? Like, you did nothing.
You might as well say, oh, yeah, all we can do is pray.
Bro, at least the EPA guy contributed something. It was like, oh, okay, well, he kicked off the end. Or I kind of expected more of an explanation the same way, because it's like, oh, Zool, and Zool low-key is like mentioned in literature. So I don't know. I kind of expected a bigger universe, but
yeah. But honestly, for a first movie, I kind of don't want that. Like, what, especially what a lot of horror movies fuck up upon is you explain it away. Halloween is a perfect example. You explain first, Michael Myers is this towering dude, and all you need to know is like from Dr. Loomis. This is like one of my favorite quotes. Where he's like, he came from hell, and I don't think hell's gonna want him back. I was like, damn, that is hard. And then in the later movies, you go out to explain like Michael Myers with like a cross or a thorn, and it's like you just fucked up the whole scenario by trying to explain it. All you need for this movie, I think it was perfect that they established that there's ghosts in this universe, and we just got these exterminators that are going out to bust some shit. And honestly, it would have been worse if it didn't have the chemistry between all four of the guys, like especially between Peter and Ray. I love their chemistry between
Peter
each
and Ray
other.
had a really incredible chemistry.
Egon was just like a scientist dude who just really cared about his science, and that's all he focused upon. Just very deadpan, like, oh, you got slimed upon? Oh, we got to get all that. Come on, gather up the mucus. Like, that's great. Like, this man's not even concerned that his friend just got touched by a ghost. He just wants all the samples. And then
that was hilarious, actually. That was really good, yeah.
And then Winston is like the perfect straight man. He just comes in just wanting, like, literally, he just comes in saying, I just want, as long as it gives me a steady paycheck, I'll do anything. And that's all you need. Like, that's all you fucking need to be part of the team.
That's all you needed, man. Yeah, you're right. Those are all like really good examples of like all their characters and how they actually act within the movie itself. How did you guys feel about the EPA guy?
Yeah, he's fine. This movie did need a villain, and I think he was a perfect, at least like a perfect like antagonist for a while.
I loved how hard they clowned this man. I thought that was like one of the funniest things.
He is correct. He has no balls.
Yeah.
This man has no dick. That is the best. That is one of the best. That's probably my favorite line of this movie.
The straightest face delivered ever.
I knew we had to bring that up. I wouldn't know how many takes that took. If that was one take, amazing.
God, that line. There's so many good lines in this movie, bro. Look, I love the first scene with them where like I think it was Peter where he just rubbed like the goo on him on his suit. Just showed mad disrespect off the first introduction. But he was a fine villain. You're supposed to hate him. I liked it.
Yeah, honestly, like, I didn't even hate him. He was just an idiot. I was just like, why? Like, I'm not even like mad at his actions. I'm just like, why are you taking your job so seriously, bro? Like, if it were me, I would have been like, hey, I'm here to make sure that you're not polluting shit up. They'd be like, you want all these ghosts out here? All right, you're not polluting. Got it. And then I'm gonna go home, right? And I'm gonna be like, they're safe, and slap that up on there. This man had to be like, no, I love that he brought, what was it, when he hits like, or turns off their grid later on. I love that he has this normal plain ass dude in a hard hat. He's just like, turn off the grid. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Like, the normal dude, he literally was like, yeah, he literally was like, I don't even know how to work. Like, what are you asking of me? And Peter's like, hey, if you're a man, don't listen to him. And the EPA guy is like, turn off the grid. And the dude is just so confused. He's like, yo, I thought this was a simple, like, on and off switch operation. This thing came in so confused. That cracked me up. The fact that it was just some plain ass dude. It was like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Just brought into the situation.
I wonder how on purpose that, because I thought it was a smart way to introduce a villain. Because again, the first thing when they were like, oh, don't cross beams, it's like nuclear explosion worthy. I'm like, damn, they got some serious like work going on, and people were scared of nuclear power back in the day. So it makes sense that someone that's using nuclear technology and all that stuff, and they're just using it just to store all these ghosts, there would be a concern when it comes to the environmental or what that could result in. But shutting it off rip, like that's like saying, hey man, I got a reactor. Yeah, let's just shut it off.
Yeah, well, what's the worst?
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen?
I would have tripped that boy as they were all running out. Fuck him.
Yeah, so they end up meeting with Gozer, right? Mm-hmm. Gozer is the god of destruction, right?
Yeah,
is what they were.
It was called God's destruction. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was the god of destruction. Is what they had said.
It's like there's a whole like when Louis Tully, like the nerd on the apartment, when he got possessed by the Keymaster, one of them, either him or
he was the Keymaster.
He was the Keymaster. First try, bitch. But like when he got possessed and then Egon put the helmet on him and he was like talking all about the bastards, like it goes who takes the form of a giant slore and then get the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper. I was like, I'm following, but I'm not following. Okay, so Gozer, right? Yeah, and we got Zool and Vince Clortho and Zool. Yeah.
Oh, why was he the funniest character though?
I love that.
The whole scene, the party in his house. When I tell you, I actually was cracking the fuck up the whole time. Especially like this man grabs the jackets, just throws it over the demon dog. The demon dog is making some sounds. He's like, who brought their dog in the apartment? My favorite part though, the dog comes out and he's like, ah! He starts running. But like when I tell you he's running, this man is gone.
He's gone. Yo, he went blocks.
He did what all of us normally think in any movie. We're like, we see some fucked up shit, we're dipping. He did exactly that, and I think that's what made me cry. I was dying because he's like, yo, this elevator better get the fuck down. And you literally see him running outside for a good minute of the movie. He's literally.
He's in shreds by the time he finally hits that restaurant. Everyone's just looking at him like, oh, that's just a homeless nigga.
This man is literally booking it for a minute straight. He's like, oh, shit, hell no. And you even see the demon dog come out there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be booking it too if I saw.
If I saw a stop motion dog coming at me. Like, that's one of the old point Amir was talking about. It's like the movie is aged perfectly, except for that dog.
That dog, yeah, the dog movements is wild.
The practical effects with the puppet, perfect. That looked amazing. Just not in movement.
Well, I think the cheapest the movie looked to me was when Dana had first went into like that portal, like in Hell and whatnot. She's sitting on her couch and the one arm is grabbing her. That shit looks so like rubber prop in a college film kind of thing, because I'm literally looking at it and she's like trying to hold it in place. The rubber arm. I was like,
You know those Halloween candy bowls where it has the hand and it's like,
yeah.
Like that's what it reminded me of.
That's exactly what it was. They had a blanket over the bowl and it was just the arm battery operated, just trying to, like, and she didn't even sell the sizzle to me. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, oh, okay, You're as uncomfortable with the scene as I am.
Hey, they could have made that a roller coaster.
Yo, that
where the harness is just a bunch of arms and you're like in a chair. The way she just kind of slid up, that would have been hard.
That's pretty cool. Six Flags, we got some ideas for y'all.
would that be at a? I feel like that'd be a Universal ride. Right?
Definitely.
That could be.
Who published this movie?
Oh,
I forgot who published it.
It had the chick, the chick with the
Columbia.
Yeah.
That's fair. So I don't know if that would be Universal.
I don't know.
Well,
they could buy it.
Whatever amusement park you want to be in, fuck it, be in Disney.
Just call it Ghostbusters, but like space it out. Like
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. It's not the same thing, I swear.
Ghost Hunters just has a Bill Murray picture.
You got Slimer, but it's blue.
It's not a Pokemon ride, it's Power World.
Dollar General Ghostbusters ride. That would be insane.
But the effects in this movie though, top notch.
Oh my gosh, they're actually incredible. They age really, really well.
Other than stop motion dog, everything else was perfect. Like there was that one scene, I think it was in Dana's apartment, that looked like it reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street, where like Freddy was coming through the roof or like the ceiling, and it had his face on the outline. It was that one scene that looked pretty cool. The proton packs and everything exploding, like that hotel scene, everything just going bananas. Loved it. And even the final scene with like Stay Puft like walking around New York City and shit. The puppets were looking good. This whole movie looked amazing. Loved it.
What I liked is right before they got into the building and like the ground just sunk in and then you have the lightning over the building. It was hard. I was like, damn. Like, I mean, near the end, like when the car kind of like lifted, you could tell it kind of was like machinery because of the way it stopped. Only because we worked at Six Flags and you could kind of tell after a while. But like, otherwise, it looks solid.
Yeah, I have to look up some behind the scenes because that whole scene, I'm like, how the fuck did they do that?
I was like, did these niggas just die?
Yeah, they fell in. I was like, that's a sinkhole. And the whole crowd is just still there. Bro, if a sinkhole came out in the middle of the street, I'm out. I'm not going to get fucking sucked in with the rest of y'all.
I'm being like our mans. I'm booking it. You know, like
ouch.
Yeah.
Louis Tully is the most relatable character because that man saw some fucking shit and dipped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that ending was honestly amazing. You know, I felt like everything, pretty decently paced. It really was pretty decently paced, built up to a climax. And sure enough, you got a stellar climax of the film. I thought it was very well executed.
There were so many quotables at the end of that film too. They're like, all right, go get her, Ray. He just looks at him. That whole final scene is probably my favorite part of the movie.
That killed me. He was like, anytime an entity asks you, are you a god? You say yes.
Yo, I think, when Ray first comes, he's like, Gozer Destroyer, on behalf of the New York City county, state, and jurisdiction, we ask of you to stop with your destroyer ways and move on to another dimension. And then Peter's like, yeah, you got it, Ray. You got it.
That had me in tears. I was like, no way, he said, by the legal authority to a god of destruction.
Man was trying to be that EPA guy. Officer, shoot this man if he impedes me one more time.
Imagine how different Avengers Endgame would be if they came up to Thanos and they're like, by the power of the New York Police Department, we demand that you hand over that Infinity Gauntlet.
And go over to another planet.
Yeah. If you do not comply, we will shit ourselves.
Are you a god?
You always
Who did I say he looked like?
He looked like David. Gozer looked like David Bowie.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He's got to be inspired by that. But it's crazy because Gozer technically was the final boss, but technically the real final boss was the man we had here earlier in the studio, Stay Puft, the motherfucking Marshmallow Man. Motherfucking Marshmallow Man. Big cute bastard. I eat him.
You gonna make a nice little theme song for him?
Stay Puft, the Marshmallow Man. He's on adventures and adventures and adventures.
Oh, no, sorry.
He doing the 80s.
Do it twice. You can repeat that twice.
Yeah, you're doing the 80s cartoon route. I wasn't ready for that.
The record skipping. I'm being authentic.
You see, it works for Yu-Gi-Oh! When you hit the,
That was ugly.
Yeah, so it ends with the group victorious and, you know, being hailed as heroes of New York.
Hell yeah. Until Ghostbusters 2 comes in, it undoes all that. Because I did watch it. I was actually, today where I did want to watch Ghostbusters 2. And I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting some dog shit, but no, it was good. I remember, at least it was like years ago, people was dog shit.
Oh, people clown on Ghostbusters too.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I'm like, yo, this movie's good. What are y'all talking about? This movie's perfect, especially compared to like the 2016 one. Like I said, I still haven't seen it, but I know I'm not going to watch that. It looks stupid. It looks like it betrays like the whole aspects of Ghostbusters. But even, I think it's way better than the fucking, like the one we saw, the Afterlife one. It was way better. People mad sleeping on Ghostbusters 2.
I think it suffers from the classic sequel issue, where like the first one is so good. Like, again, I haven't fully watched this movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself the entire time. Like, I was busting my ass laughing, like in several scenes. But the sequel, unless if it's just as much or if not better, it's always dog shit.
See, I think what people's main problem was the setup, because it was like, in the end of this movie, Ghostbusters are heroes, yeah! But in the second movie, they're like, yeah, New York City thought that was a hoax, so yeah, fuck Ghostbusters, y'all are hoaxes, we're gonna put y'all out of business. I was like, I get it, that is kind of stupid, but the rest of the movie's still good, so, you know.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all, because I remember when the Stay Puft guy came and Johnny deadass said at some point while he was climbing the building, what if some of this rubble fell down on people and it just killed them? And then all we saw was rubble deadass falling on people. I was like, whoa, like they're actually showing this and everything. He was on fire at one point, the Stay Puft guy. Mm-hmm. You had some giant thing on fire and they're like, yeah, it just didn't happen.
And people got gooed on. Come on, man.
The explosion didn't happen either.
All that never happened. Apparently, there's no news recordings of what happened. But, you know, it's the 80s. They didn't have internet.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. That's a perfect excuse. They didn't have internet. So,
bro, you imagine that. Shut up.
So, how would you guys rate this movie out of 10?
I ain't gonna lie. I like it. 9. 9. Easy.
Yeah, I'm saying 9. I'm saying 9. The fact that I could watch it in 2024 and still get like, probably not as great of amusement as somebody from the 80s who saw it in theaters, but I would dare say like close to it, like the same level of enjoyment. Absolutely worthy of a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, you ever feel like there's movies that you haven't seen, but you feel like you know them due to like the pop culture around them? This felt like one of those movies, but rewatching it, I was like, I didn't know shit about this movie, and I'm glad I didn't, because it was an enjoyment throughout, and because all the jokes hit when they were supposed to, nothing fell off. And that's what probably makes it way better in the long run. Way better than the recent ones, because I'll be quick, but like the Afterlife one, I did not know how much that movie rode this, like the original Ghostbusters dick, but it did. The entire third act of that movie is literally the first movie.
Bar for bar.
Yeah.
Bar for bar.
I was screaming bar for bar as we were watching this, because I remember that movie so vividly. I'm like, they deadass copy and pasted everything. And even with the kids' hairstyles, how they acted, all that, it was just trying to replicate, because you couldn't get at all the original actors, of course. Rest in peace. But
yeah, like I get, for some people that's probably good enough. I don't like that. I could tell you're pandering. It's nostalgia pandering. Mm-hmm. You're trying to replicate that feeling of the first movie, but it's not. You can't do that.
It reminds me of a new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like, I like the OG, and like we could rewatch. Well, not all the OGs of Star Wars, but a lot of them I can rewatch and it's solid. And then this new one, you have to mention shit of the old one just for it to be good.
Yeah, and I do hate that that's like a common thing nowadays, is that, like you said, Amir, I think that's the best way to word it, is that like they have to have some fan service, some reference to the original in order for it to be relevant in people's eyes. And I don't think that should be the case, you know? But no.
Like, come up with something new.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Ghostbusters. Come on, go to hell or something. That would have been cool.
I don't even know where the story is taking or going in this upcoming one. I just know it's coming out. I'm trying to, like, I like to come into movies I'm genuinely interested in. I try to come in there blind, typically, you know?
It is a sequel to Afterlife, so if you haven't seen it, then...
I have seen Afterlife, yeah.
Okay, then you're pretty much good from there. I just hope when it comes out, I hope it's something at least original and not just, oh, hey, look, you remember the Slimer? Well, now he's blue.
You remember the car?
Yeah, the one. Now it's here. Oh, you remember the book stacking? Yeah, it's there.
Oh my gosh,
That's
a deep dive right there.
Yeah.
The book stacking, that's crazy.
Fungus and spores, right there. Yeah.
Could you imagine if the all-female Ghostbusters came in and collaborated with them?
People would have ran that movie to the ground. They would have given death threats.
I don't hate that movie because of who they cast. I hate because they try to make it a comedy, like, entirely. And even this movie, it didn't feel like a comedy. Like, the dry humor, like, if you caught it, then it was a funny movie. But I wouldn't consider it a comedy or anything. It just felt like a normal kind of... I don't even know what theme I'd put it in.
It's comedy. I think it's a horror comedy. Because even the second one I'll classify as a horror comedy. Because if I was a kid watching this, Gozer would have scared the shit out of me, bruh. The red eyes and like the way she's beaming down on you, the dogs. I think it qualifies as a horror comedy.
I mean, I feel like it's almost like a satire on like a lot of the like sci-fi tropes of like that time. Because like honestly, 80s, that was the sci-fi generation.
Yes,
I'll be honest, that y'all got sci-fi on lock in the 80s. Like it's just a fucking fact, So I think it's a little bit of like a trope or satire almost, but like it's so well done that it feels like its own thing, and it does build into its own thing. And like you said, the comedy, like it doesn't even feel like that's the forefront of it.
Yeah,
but like it's just like a great byproduct is how it is presented, which is weird to describe a movie in that sense because like it's either like comedy is front and center or it's not. Not like it's kind of there, but again, they execute it so perfectly where it's like it's present, but it doesn't feel like that's the main thing that we're going for here,
Yeah, this movie, I felt like I was watching a bunch of exterminators, a bunch of sleazy exterminators try to get money and do their job, and then they just happen to save the world because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, exactly. They just happened to save the world. They were just like, let's get a good, let's follow our passion. Oh, wow, we saved the world. Awesome.
Yeah, Egon's doing science stuff. Ray's doing his own thing. Meanwhile, we got Peter trying to smash every client he's got.
And probably why they got fired in the first place. And probably why this whole thing happened in the first place, because he just wanted to smash the first client.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Because imagine if he actually checked the fridge.
Imagine if he did.
Properly.
Instead, he went to the bedroom. She was like, the ghost wasn't in there. He's like, oh. What a shame.
He's like, I have no other choice.
Yeah,
I love you.
I'll follow Dana to her apartment to check her out. I mean, I'm gonna go with Dana to check it out. Like, come on, man, you ain't subtle. But no, phenomenal movie, man. It's forever. It's timeless. Forever timeless. 40 years and going on, still timeless.
Yep, 40-year-old movie, and it's still, like Johnny said, a timeless classic. And we're excited to check out the new Ghostbusters movie. Let us know in the comments if you're going to be checking it out. Oh, you're not excited?
No.
Why not?
After the Afterlife movie, I'm kind of more like, ugh.
That's crazy. So you're not excited either, Amir?
I ain't gonna lie, Afterlife turned me off.
Really?
I thought it was still solid.
Yeah,
wow.
If you did not
movie.
know Ghostbusters originally, because it's been so long, that's why I think they came out with it. Where like, okay, the parents can enjoy it and the kids can enjoy it. But because I knew Ghostbusters originally, even partially, I was like, this ain't it. Like, it's just not.
It felt like too much pandering. Even from a person from the time I saw it, I haven't seen the original Ghostbusters in forever. Even then, I'm like, this feels like it's for the fans, but if I was a fan, I'd feel way too pandered to. I'd be like, man, this is like, y'all trying too hard. Like, this doesn't feel authentic. That's my biggest problem. It doesn't feel authentic.
Well, I think for me personally is that Afterlife was, like you said earlier, passing of the torch, right? But I mean, I really do think how they saw it in their eyes, that in order for the passing of the torch to be successful, they have to have some of the original formula in there. Like you said, it shouldn't be copy and paste. It should not be, right? It was, but whatever. I do think that, this upcoming movie, though, the reason why I'm excited for it is that I think it's going to be, less of that copy and paste formula, less of that homage to the original, and really focused on being, this generation's Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I'm excited for it. I don't think it's going to be so much like Ghostbusters 1 influenced upcoming Ghostbusters movie. I think this one is going to be, here's your new team. They're finally, they're about to go do their thing, and they'll get a little bit of mentorship, a little bit of bits and pieces from the old generation.
That's a good point. So I won't say I'm not excited. I'm hopeful that it's gonna be that it's gonna be better than Afterlife. So hopefully they do the own original thing. Not excited because we'll see. We'll just see.
Okay. I agree. If they copy and paste Ghostbusters 2 to this sequel, then yeah, you definitely killed my whole vibe. I'm turned off. I'm never watching another Ghostbusters.
All right. Well, at the very least, I'm gonna go check it out, and we'll see if these guys check it out.
If Jose says it's good, I might. Find on my favorite website, yeah.
Or we'll cover it 25 years later when you actually remember it.
Yeah. Woo! When that movie hits 40, that'd be crazy.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Ugh. Comments. Retire.
Old niggas.
Old. You're old.
All right, that wraps up this episode of Remember When. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. Until next time, peace out, Remembers.
But still makes me feel good. Remember When is a Sweet Recording production. Check them out at suiterecording.com.
Intro and outro created by our very own Johnny.
Subscribe, listen, and remember to review wherever you are on social media. Thanks for listening.